And one of the factors why is actually all the services of financial system, because this is their job. They make you rich when they play on all these things, but not only. Not only. We can take, for example, again with this diagram, from the nationwide perspective, a notion of floating exchange rate of national currency. Okay, this is from market paradigm of thinking. This is very good because, well, it accommodates shocks in trade states, and we can, the economy can react easier on this and so on. But what happens, for example, if domestic currency depreciates? We have Marshall-Leonard condition that says, well, it will be very good in the middle ground because our exports are going to soar and our economy will benefit. But we forget that in most economies, many things that people, that average people use are imported. And if we take a look on how important is the price level of these important things in a consumption pattern of people with certain levels of earning, we see that we have after devaluation of national currency, while shareholders of exporting entities benefit from higher income, their employees actually suffer because their real income falls down because of price of goods, and their real wage is also fell down, expose it against the international prices. Okay, now inflation, another point. So this is Bank of England, very reliable source, and this is level of inflation in the United Kingdom since very long. So you can see that inflation is a recent phenomenon. Okay, you may argue that it's not in this continuous inflation. Of course, there were discrepancies between prices. There is another interesting record, which is the world's oldest time series in general. These are prices in ports, in Dutch ports, for grain and all main products. And you can see, and it dates back to, I don't know, beginning of 15th century, this record. So it's unique data for economists. And you can see that, okay, they oscillated, there were good years, good harvest, for example, prices fell, and then they soared because of frosty winter and so on. But there was no continuous growth of prices, never, before recently.
So the winter is helping financial capital.
Yeah, it has many effects, and this too. But, and you see the exponential growth. It soared dramatically, that cumulative level of inflation. Why is it so? Well, it's very interesting because at the same time when we have this inflation growing, there is a story about Phillips curve, but we don't have time about it. While it was valid when actually Phillips found this relation between unemployment and level of prices growing. But after a few years after that, Robert Solow tested this hypothesis in the United States and found no, it doesn't work. Why? Why does it work in one country and does work in another? It was the problem that when Phillips analyzed the situation, he lived still in epoch of more or less stable prices without continuous inflation. And after that, the series analyzed by American scholars were already data from that inflation epoch. And the economic laws changed. Okay, so what are the reasons of inflation? I think this is obvious. We had war. After that, we had Bretton Woods. After that, we had Nixon shock, and we really we had a situation when actually the mass of money in economy started to grow exponentially in the world economy because it was unpacked and there was like one currency just a basis of it. This is obvious, but we have different repercussions from inflation. The justification of inflation has like many points. For example, you have the government benefits from this through senior rush, and you have other effects
From a small rate of inflation, yes? From
a small but continuous rate of inflation, yes. But if you have hyperinflation, of course, everything is
collapsing.
yeah. But from small continuous rate of inflation, they benefit. There is also a money blindness notion, which helps to get some additional profits for capital and other things like that. But what they forget is that inflation is that factor that gives you, in a relatively short perspective, an absolute unpredictable level of prices. So you never know what inflation is going to be in a couple of years, if it exists at all. So zero inflation is something which can yield an ability to prognose development of nominal economical indicators for 20 years, for example, which is very desirable in itself, because we can plan, we can extend our planning horizon. And this is important for development.
You have about 5 minutes of speaking left, and then we'll discuss.
Okay, maybe we can. Okay, I'm already moving to possible solutions on this. All right. So what is widely considered? This is a very famous pyramid, and from the Maslow's point of view, it's misused. But anyway, we have different. What is the task of economics? The purpose of economics is most commonly recognized as to satisfy needs of people, which are virtually unlimited, with limited resources. But let's look what economics and what modern productive forces manage to do. Okay, they can satisfy needs up to here, more or less. Here it becomes more complicated, and here they just manage to create needs that they can satisfy, and then which could resemble actually the real needs here, but they do not satisfy these actual needs. So this task, this paradigm, it stopped. It cannot move further. So people are not growing happier, and they cannot, because of all the productive forces which are explained by today's economics paradigm, they cannot satisfy these additional needs. So it fails, actually. What to do? Maybe we need some different type of thinking, I don't know. The point is that we cannot even, the point is that we cannot come closer to this type of thinking while we are here preoccupied by this type of needs. So what we try to do, we try to employ the natural law, logic of ethics behind this, and looked according to natural laws, what could be the purpose of economics. And we saw that, and it's rather obvious that we need to the human being and the development of social structures should be in a certain pace which is harmonized with the natural pace, which is somewhere profoundly, which must exist somewhere profoundly for people. We just cannot find how to find it, how to understand what's going on. But we see what distinguishes us, what makes us another next stage of this evolution, and this is our mind. And we look at most advanced individuals and see that if the individual is free for artistic or scientific or another kind of creative behavior, he actually moves, he becomes part of this evolutionary process. So